Hi, I'm Joe Kurtenbach with American Rifleman, and this week we're looking at a gun that really needs no introduction, the Glock 19 Gen 4.
So we're back again with Joe Kurtenbach, and along with being the managing editor of American Rifleman magazine, he hosts the NRA Gun of the Week video series. So I got to ask, so you guys were largely focused on print, and now I guess with the way things have changed with technology, you guys are starting to take advantage of that and kind of moving, I don't want to say moving over to, but incorporating more video formats as well into what you guys are doing, especially with the series, Gun of the Week. How did that get started? Like, how did that come to be?
Yeah, so I guess probably close to 7-8 years now, we've actually had a TV show on the Outdoor Channel, American Rifleman Television. So we've been in video for as long as I've been here, for sure, and before that. In fact, my very first day on the job, we were filming NRATV here, and so all I did for a week was push a cart of guns around the NRA headquarters building, which if you haven't been here, it's a maze. I mean, there's like basement like tunnels and stuff, and I was pushing this heavy cart with stuff around. It was cool. But yeah, so we do the magazine, and that's obviously a full-time job in itself, but media is changing. There's a lot of people that want to say something like print is dead. I say ask Hearst Group how that's going for them, because it's really not. People like their magazines one way. Yeah. No one's really found the right recipe for that yet, but we still need to provide that digital content. So we've had AmericanRifleman.org, I think since early 2000s, that's been up and going. And it was a collection place for news and for articles, to digitize them, to preserve them, to curate them and put them out to the members and non-members. Because unlike the magazine, AmericanRifleman.org, of course, is open to anyone.
Gotcha.
But the video series, a couple years ago, we started doing a Gun of the Week, and we did it for a few months. And it really didn't go anywhere. It was kind of a neat idea, but it was just, we didn't have maybe the time or the resources, or we didn't have a way to make it worthwhile to put into our mix.
Gotcha.
But earlier last year, I came forward and I said, hey, I want to start the Gun of the Week back up. And so I kind of rallied the staff up and we started doing it. And so we've been doing that for about a year and a half. And then this year, I think around June or July, we actually started a second video series, NRA Gun Gear of the Week, which is kind of a mouthful of a name, but it's basically, I'm the only one who does those videos, and it's basically just my place where I can talk and shoot and do any gear or gun I want to do. So it's kind of like, a little less restrictive. But the Gun of the Week thing, though, it's been a huge success. People love it. They're really quick reviews, but they still have that technical level that we're known for.
Yeah, no, I watched a ton of them, and it's amazing how much you walk away with information-wise, how much information you guys pack in relatively short videos, which I think is great, especially for us ADD individuals, which is pretty much 99.9% of America. So now let's talk about this Glock 19.
All right. Oh, you're gonna love this. Okay, let's do it.
All right. So I went on.
Browning was bad. You thought we did bad on that,
right? I went on this rampage the other day about how I'm sick and tired of the Glock 19. Granted, it's one of my carry guns, and I have several of them. But a part of me is I'm kind of tactically bored with the 19.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. This is the interesting part, though. I've owned firearms since I was 21, which is the legal age here in Virginia, for handguns. But my first handguns, and I have a brace of them now, I've got several, was actually Springfield XDs, which if you talk to a Glock guy, they hate Springfield. But it's a great gun, and I actually just bought my first Glock this year.
Really?
Because I had Springfields, I had the XDM 3.8 compact, and I had an XD compact, both in 9mm.
Yeah.
Those were kind of my carry guns. I also had a couple of, I still have them, 1911s. I liked carrying those too. If I feel like I need a 45, I go straight for the 1911. But with the job that I do, I was like, man, all these accessories, all this gear comes out for Glocks first.
I know. And the irony is I'm here crying and complaining about the Glock, but yet when you tell me you just bought your first Glock not too long ago, I'm like, like it's a rite of passage or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so I figured if I'm going to do this gear series, I'm going to do gear every week. Like all this stuff comes out for Glocks first. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm not super interested for it because even though I hadn't owned one, I think I had the same as you. I was just fatigued on hearing about them.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants to talk about the Glock. Everyone wants to praise the Glock. I want to do something a little bit different. Then I started shooting the Glock 19. I mean, there's just no denying that gun just chugs. It's accurate. It's reliable. I mean, it gives me plenty of video fodder because there's so many accessories and upgrades and stuff you can do. So it's the start of a new era for me.
For all of my critiques, man, the gun is incredible. I can't lie. It is. I even have a video out that literally says it is my one gun option. You know, if I ever get rid of all of my guns, it's going to be the last gun I get rid of. And I remember very vividly when I started getting into firearms, I have never put so much energy in avoiding any particular thing than I did avoiding buying a Glock. Because out of all the video watching that I did, the researching and all those things, everything, all roads led back to Glock. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I wanted to be a cool kid. I wanted to be the guy that didn't buy the Glock. You know, I was like, I'm too cool to buy the Glock. I don't follow the trends. It's a legacy at this point. But go ahead.
Yeah, for me it was my research was a little bit more limited then. So this was 10 years ago when I bought my first XD, and I literally went to the range and I shot a Glock and an XD, and I just came out of that session thinking, well, I like the XD better, and that's what I purchased. You know, and thinking back, I almost wonder too if that attaché case with the little holster that you're never going to use and the magazine carrier that you're never going to use, I almost wonder if that did exactly what it was supposed to do, which is like win me over maybe a little bit more. But I have no complaints about the XDs though. Yeah. But having a Glock, it just kind of widens my view, I guess.
To go back to your point about having the case and the extra stuff and you know, with the holster, you know, now I'm spoiled. So when I get things like that, they never see the light of day. They just disappear off into some weird storage facility I have with gun parts I'm never going to touch or use again. But for people who don't buy guns like you and I with the frequency that we buy guns, and people who are probably going to buy one or two guns, I think you're right. I think a lot of like having that extra experience with other additional things that come with it, you know, they're kind of like just kind of a double hit of endorphin. You know, you got the gun. Oh wow, now I got the holster. It's like it makes it feel so much more complete, more substantial. And I think for a lot of people, like, well, let me speak for myself. For people like me, I tend to undervalue that a lot now because I'm kind of spoiled.
Yeah, well, definitely. It's definitely added value, and it definitely makes your gun buying purchase a one-stop shop, especially for that person who this might be the only gun purchase they make for a year or 2 years or 5 years. You never know, and they get everything they need. Now, sitting here at the managing editor's desk of American Rifleman, yeah, I have way better holsters for those guns. I have way better mag carriers. You know, I'm never going to use that magazine loading assist tool or whatever. Whatever it is. I'm never going to use those. But at the time when I bought it as a 21-year-old, I had everything I needed to go to the range, to practice with my firearm, to carry my firearm if I wanted to. So it may not have been the best solution, but at least it was a solution, and it didn't require any extra steps. So they definitely have that going for them. They were kind of the first major manufacturer, I think, to go that route and offer all that extra value in the package.
Absolutely. I remember that was the first company I noticed. I was like, you get all of this stuff? Yeah. You know, I was like, this is amazing. Because I remember thinking back when you used to buy Glocks, Glock was to me like that extraordinarily beautiful girl who could do nothing else but be beautiful. And was kind of like, well, this is what you get, beauty, so you shouldn't want anything else. That's what the Glock was to me. It was just kind of like they felt they were perfect. Oh, here's the gun, go shoot it, you're happy. I don't think they talk like that, but
or look at a Smith & Wesson, which also a great gun in that category. They're M&Ps and stuff, but you get it in a cardboard box, or at least used to. I don't know what you get it in today, but I mean,
that's a good question.
The time it came in a cardboard box, which that's the way a lot of guns come. Yeah. But when you're looking at them on the counter, like it's decision time, you got to pick one of these. That's a strong selling point, and we're seeing more companies do that. Yeah. I just did a video on the Jericho from IWI, the same company that brings in the Tavor from Israel. they're offering a kit now, the J Gear kit to go with their Jericho pistol. I mean, I'm not going to be purchasing one just because it's Christmas time. I don't have, but I mean, just seeing companies like that expanding into that realm, seeing that as a winning formula, I think it gives them an advantage at the counter there in the gun store.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially when you're talking about somebody who's going there and spending money that they saved up to get a particular gun for.
Right.
I think that absolutely that added value plays a huge part in the decision buying process. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk to you about your 1911 that you like to carry.
Let's do it.